Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Kens, Chelseas of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and with me I have my wonderful co-host. What's your name? Puppadoodle-doo? Salt and Puppa? Cutosaurus Rex? No, that's not right. We'll think of a name later.
Yeah, I don't have one. I've just been calling myself John all these years.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. For those of you just joining us, we are a podcast about Barbie movies. Each week we watch one of the straight-to-DVD animated Barbie movies, and we rate its story, characters, animation, voice acting, and music to see how it stacks up. This week we will be talking about the 31st animated Barbie movie, Barbie and Her Sisters in The Great Puppy Adventure.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think my hot take going into this episode is The Great Puppy Adventure would be a lot more great if there were fewer puppies in it.
I don't really care.
John is beyond caring at this point. This is the fourth episode we've recorded in as many days.
Let me tell you something. I also just woke up like half an hour ago, so
Okay. Well, this should make for an interesting episode.
it would make for an interesting episode. It is making for an interesting episode, not it would. I don't even know what the words are. Anyway, The Great Puppy Adventure, guys. Yeah, the film that we didn't really care about, but apparently has a little bit of a good story. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll get into it. This was released October 27, 2015, and it's actually the second Barbie movie from Arc Productions. They did a total of 3, so this is the second one. Their first one was the last Barbie and her sisters movie, The Ponytail. And yeah, this is a bit of an improvement, I would say.
Yes, and
Just
no.
animation-wise.
There's some things to talk about the animation too.
Oh, yeah,
but yes and no.
And this is directed by Andrew Tan. This is the first of 2 Barbie movies that he directed. But he's most well known for his work as a storyboard artist. He worked on the Magic School Bus series, had uncredited work on Shark Tale.
Good.
Worked on a few of the Total Drama sort of spin-off series.
I don't think you want to get yourself credited on Shark Tale.
Isn't that the one where Martin Scorsese plays a fish?
Yes.
Okay. That is all I know about that movie. But yeah, as for The Great Puppy Adventure, it is written by Amy Wolfram, who you might remember from Barbie and the Three Musketeers. Now, when we did that episode, because I looked through her credits at IMDb, and I'm like, wait, she wrote The Great Puppy Adventure? What's going on? Because The Three Musketeers, I think, is a well-written Barbie movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's going on here? Because Barbie and Her Sisters: A Great Puppy Adventure is not a title that inspires confidence in the story you are about to see. But yeah, we'll get into sort of my thoughts going into this and how maybe the movie subverted my expectations. But I did want to talk a bit about, we have production design work by Alexandra Kavalova. She's worked on as a designer on other Barbie movies, and apparently was a background artist on ASDF movie 3, though she's not credited in the video and there's not much background in it. So
maybe that's what she did. She drew the white, and that was it.
Yeah, I was looking through the crew list, and there's an insane number of people credited on this like 2D stick figure YouTube video. Have you seen the ASDF movies?
I have. They're fun.
Yeah, this one had some good bits. That's where the "I am punching your salad." That's the one.
That's the one that you picked from that one? Okay.
Well, that's the one I remember from that one.
All right.
Did you rewatch it when I put it in the notes?
No.
No? Okay. I don't remember which bits are in which ones.
See, that's There was probably a turtle train one in there. Where it was.
Yeah, there's I don't know if there's a turtle, but it's the die potato. I
Oh, there
like
you go.
trains.
I like trains.
Anyone who's listening who was not in middle school in like 2010, no, we weren't in middle school in 2010, in like upper elementary school in 2010 will be very, very confused about what we're talking about.
I mean, they might only know the references from the card game that was made really since.
Oh, there's a card game. I did not know
Yes,
that.
there is.
But yeah, anyway, she's Alexandra Kavalova is credited on IMDb as a background artist for ASDF Movie 3. Again, I don't know if it's like an inside joke that like a bunch of people have put their credits on that, or if that is actually work they put in. But I thought it was a little fun thing to point out. And then we have music by Christopher Willis. This is his only Barbie movie, and actually it's the second feature he ever scored. But since then, he's actually become sort of a rising star composer. He composed music for the TV series Veep. He was actually shortlisted for the Oscars for his work on The Death of Stalin. And he also worked on the film The Personal History of David Copperfield, as well as other TV shows. There was like a Mickey Mouse TV show that he worked on. Got a few Emmy nominations as well, so sort of a bigger name composer than these Barbie movies sometimes get.
It showed.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll talk about the music and how maybe the music is the best part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the story this time around. Well, actually, before we get into this, so for most of these Barbie movies recently, I've been going in completely blind.
Yeah.
But for this one, I had actually, because like I read the title as we were planning the series, Barbie and Her Sisters in the Great Puppy Adventure, and I've kind of been using it as like a joke of like, what's the worst a Barbie movie could be? Well, it's probably the one that is titled Barbie and Her Sisters in the Great Puppy Adventure. So I actually went and like watched part of the trailer, and I apparently only watched the first half of the trailer because the second half of the trailer spoils the whole like third act of this movie. But I had missed that. So the first half of the trailer is like all of the worst parts of the first half of the movie in
Okay.
one trailer. It's all of the puppy lines, all of the like bacon, or like Chelsea being Chelsea, and I love surprises. Ooh, look, cupcakes.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, basically that is the entirety of this first half of the trailer that I saw. And apparently I disliked it enough that I just shut it off halfway through.
I get that.
So going into this movie, I was not at all looking forward to it. But yeah, the story follows Barbie and her sisters. Again, they are Skipper, Stacy, and Chelsea. And they're spending a few weeks at their grandmother's house in Willows, Wisconsin, which is apparently this is where Barbie grew up. And even though they used to live there, Chelsea was too young to remember anything. That's kind of an important thing for her arc, though it doesn't really factor in much to anything. But yeah, when they arrive, their grandmother gives each of them a puppy.
Okay.
And oh, go ahead.
I mean, cute as that is, that giving surprise puppies isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah, it's and like all of the puppies mirror the like the sisters, except for kind of one of them, though I think that plays an interesting role. It's almost like Game of Thrones with the dire wolves.
Yeah, they all die one by one.
Yeah,
Until
luckily in this one it's
Ghost is the one that's left and has a litter of her own.
but yeah, they each get a puppy, and Chelsea's kind of feeling down because she doesn't remember anything. So to help her feel better, Grandma Rogers brings everyone up into the attic to look through her old things. And Barbie finds an old treasure map, which she and her grandfather had used to try and find the legendary treasure hidden by the founders of Willows. Yeah, it's a bit ambiguous as to who exactly hid it and what they were thinking. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, Barbie's sisters decide that they are going to go looking for this treasure.
naturally.
And yep, meanwhile, Barbie has this list of things that she wants to do while she's in town, sort of memories that she has and places she wants to visit and people she wants to see. So she starts trying to work through that list, but it very quickly becomes apparent that Willows is kind of falling into this state of disrepair. The infrastructure is crumbling, people are moving away, businesses are closing. So Barbie is trying to do everything on her list, but a lot of the people she wants to see have just moved out. So she can't even, like, she wants to attend a dance class, but the dance studio is out of business. And even the yearly carnival that they do is disappointing. There aren't as many rides or as many things to do. And we are also introduced sort of haphazardly to two of the carnival workers, Joe and Marty. They are struggling financially. They could only afford to buy day old corn dogs. And they overhear that the sisters are looking for this treasure. So they're like, ooh, we could improve our lives if we get that treasure. So they decide to do the classic adventure movie thing of following the heroes.
As they find the treasure, yeah.
Yeah. Which it is somewhat interesting that in this one it's like usually that's like a big reveal at the end. Oh, the villain has been following the hero all along. Here it's just like you're following them as they do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Barbie sisters, they actually make quite a bit of progress. They're doing kind of like the national treasure, finding the clue, go to the not the library, but like the mayor's office, find the next clue. Then there's like a clock tower, find the clue.
Then you have to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, that was an odd scene when Skipper and Stacy and Chelsea stole the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
But
they went all the way to Washington D.C. to do that from Wisconsin.
yeah, just to be clear, that is a national treasure, not this movie. But it is, you know, that kind of thing of like national treasure, but with the gunfights taken out.
Well, it's not really that.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's elements of that.
Oh no, it's elements of 2000s and 90s these treasure hunt films. There's a lot of
Yeah,
those films during
yeah.
those time period.
I mean, it is like it eventually gets more towards like the Indiana Jones thing, but when they're just like running around the town, it's a bit more. But we'll get into it.
We'll get into that, yeah.
Anyway, they kind of get stuck on this clue where they're digging under the willow tree that is very important to this town. And while they are looking one day, Joe and Marty steal Skipper's bag, which has Skipper's tablet, which she has all the clues on. So they're like, kind of, well, now we have to give up. But then Grandma has a talking to with Barbie and reminds her that adventures are about the people you have them with. So Barbie's like, oh yeah, maybe instead of going around and being sad about everything that's closed in town, I should help my sisters. And she specifically decides to help her sisters as like a let's save the town type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with Barbie's help, they are able to uncover the puzzle that unlocks the stairs leading down under the town. And underneath is this sort of massive cavern system filled with all these puzzles to solve. This is like the Indiana Jones
No,
or Goonies or
it's
like
the Goonies. It's the Goonies. It's
well,
pure
Goonies.
Goonies.
And Indiana Jones have similarities.
Uh,
But anyway, Joe and Marty follow them down as well and are kind of like the sisters have to try and stay one step ahead of them. And they eventually do find the treasure, and it is an actual treasure. It's a room full of gold. Um, Joe and Marty show up. Joe tries to grab a gold willow at the center of the room, which obviously traps them all inside the room, except for Barbie's puppy Taffy. And Taffy finds this button to open the door, but she has to cross this raging river to get there. And when she presses it, the button also raises these stones, which reveals this exit from the cave. So um, they're able to escape, and Joe and Marty are arrested, and Barbie and her sisters donate the treasure to the town, and the mayor gives them a small finder's fee, which is actually quite a bit. It's like a wheelbarrow full of gold. But the sisters decide to hide it for the next treasure hunters who come along.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Who knew that we got an early 2000s classic treasure hunting film that's a Goonies style, save the town?
Yeah. I mean, the Indiana Jones also has kind of like the second one specifically has a bit of the
I,
save the town element.
but it's not the same save the town of financial discourse. It's like, they stole our kids, get them back.
Yeah, that's fair. I just it's that like adventure, even like Tomb Raider.
It's Beethoven 5.
I have not seen the Beethoven movies, but I will take your word for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, and I don't know. I don't know what your expectations going into this were, but for me, having these like very low expectations, and then the movie was going on, and like, not to spoil my issues with the plot, but anytime the puppies aren't the focus, it's actually a pretty solid movie. But I was kind of like not sure how I was feeling about it. And then I realized at a certain point, as they're digging under this willow, wait a second, the cover of this movie is them in a cave. Are they going to go in this cave? And no, it isn't a cave. It is a massive system of caverns with like rickety bridges and raging waterfalls and
Mm-hmm.
everything. All of that high adventure. Yeah, it was such a fun thing to discover that there's like this second half to this movie that's rather than just be like, oh, here's a treasure hunt through the town. There's more going on.
Yeah, they're copying Goonies by having a cavern underneath the town. They also have pirate ships under there. Man, the references.
Yeah, I to be fair, I haven't seen the Goonies in a while, so relevant right now because one of the stars of that movie just won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Ke Huy Quan, who gave a very lovely speech. And did you see him hugging Harrison Ford?
I've seen many photos of that, yes. It's cute.
Yeah, because he was also Short Round in the second Indiana Jones movie, which is also related to this.
Sure, I don't agree with that statement, but yeah.
They're similar genres. They're the same genre.
What? Not quite.
It's the whole Tomb Raider, National Treasure,
but like
Indiana Jones.
Those are their own thing. The Goonies is a bit more small town type thing. Not using their expertise and archaeological knowledge and know-how to do stuff. This is more a group of kids go out and find the stuff and they find it.
Yeah. Which
it's a different genre.
It worked really well for me. That flip from it being like the above ground stuff into this underground adventure. That is when I was like, okay, yeah, this like great puppy adventure, because you hear that title and you're like, oh, it's not actually going to be that great. But once they go underground, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty great.
It also looks really good. It's really cool. That cavern with the waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
The different colors.
When they reveal that, it's, oh, man. And then the boat looks so cool. And
it did.
Yeah, it's just straight up an adventure movie for a solid, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we haven't really had much of those in the 2010s. They all got replaced by superheroes.
Superhero stories with somewhat low stakes.
Mm,
This felt a bit high stakes compared to everything else that we've seen recently.
somewhat. I don't think the villains really
The
work
villains
that
don't
well.
present much of a threat, but
No, so like when they're down there stealing gold, I'm like, well, I don't really feel any danger here. They can go ahead and steal some. Like, there's so
yeah.
much gold here, they can't fit it all in their pockets.
Yeah, you almost feel bad. Actually, you do feel bad for them because they're like these carnival workers who aren't getting paid enough and can't afford to like eat good food.
Yeah, I don't sense the danger from them at all.
Oh yeah,
Whenever they
yeah.
confront the girls, it's like, oh, you're just two guys against how many people?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today of like, have we had a Barbie movie without a villain? Because this would be the one that would work the best without a villain.
It would, but I guess you needed some conflict.
But the conflict is them surviving this adventure. I guess earlier in the film you need a bit of conflict, but even
But
like
like,
solving the
see,
puzzles.
having these type of characters work in this specific genre of the small
Yeah.
town treasure hunt, you need people to be like, I want the treasure for myself.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. I do think they are at the very least not the worst part of the movie.
No, they're not. I mean, I know that you have a worse part of the movie, but
Yeah.
Air
I do.
Buddies.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we get into the characters. Um but one of the other things I think was interesting here is that you come into this movie to watch Barbie and her sisters have a great puppy adventure, but you stay for this like exploration of the decline of small town America.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's this town where it's like, oh, people are moving away and infrastructure is crumbling. Things aren't what they used to be. Um, and like the movie isn't suggesting any solutions to this problem besides like go find a room full of treasure that the founders. But I do find it interesting that it's like these are themes that aren't usually explored in kids movies. Like we've seen the whole like, oh, the Barbie's Ed's fashion shop is going out of business, but we haven't seen it quite on this scale. Maybe since Princess and the Pauper, which also had that sort of like the kingdom is
Yeah,
in financial trouble.
there's 30 films going through my head right now, so it's hard to determine.
Sort of these like
There are
bigger
others,
bigger systemic issues.
probably.
And yeah, this was kind of at the height of that sort of discourse in the culture. Like 2015 was maybe like the start of that, and like 2018 being more like the tail end of that. Now you don't hear it quite as much, though it is still very much going on of sort of small town America kind of disappearing
Mm-hmm.
into the past. And even this idea of like Barbie is coming to terms with the fact that the town she grew up with is now gone. It's no longer the town she remembers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is, of course, resolved very cleanly in the end. It's like
Sure.
Barbie's friends that were moving away. No, we have the treasure, so we don't need to move away.
No, why why did the founders hide the treasure? One, but then two, create an elaborate system of clues to lead to it. Like, why? What happened? Was there a war going on? I don't know.
Yeah, in Wisconsin, I don't think so.
Like in the Goonies, the treasure was from a pirate, a greedy pirate, who
Yeah,
didn't want anybody to get his treasure. Here, it's just, I don't know. We just hid our treasure. We have lots of dogs, apparently.
yeah. It's a bit thin of an explanation, but I don't know. It works
It doesn't
in
really
that
matter.
it gets the story rolling. The
Yeah.
the the adventure is more important than explaining
Barbie's
how the
reasoning
treasure.
for hiding her part of the treasure makes sense.
Oh yeah, I really like that of like I'm gonna hide it so that other people can have their own adventures.
But the founders, I don't know.
And they,
Were they really in the dough? If that was what they hid?
maybe they got to the town and they found a big, huge treasure, and then they're like, okay, we'll take most of it and build this town, and then like a little bit of it will. So it's just like endlessly repeating. So then the next person finds Barbie's treasure, and they invested most of it into the town, but then they keep like a little bit, and then eventually it's just like a single gold coin.
Yeah. Used to belong to the natives, but then they slaughtered them.
Yeah,
Sad times.
something like
Something like
that. Yeah,
that must be what happened.
Yeah, the underground caverns definitely feel like this is a lot more ancient than the town it's above.
Mm-hmm.
Until they open that door to the treasure room, in which case it's like, oh, here's like the white marble pillars and
Dog statues.
dog statues everywhere.
And you had a little thing for only your dog can do, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the river would have looked like way back then. Because maybe it was a little bit less extreme.
Extreme. I don't know.
Yeah, this really satisfied my sort of like, and part of the reason I do compare it to the Indiana Jones movies is that it's like, yeah, that's I watched those for the same reason that I enjoyed this, of like big swashbuckling adventure, that kind of thing. Any other comments on the story?
No.
So yeah, I gave the story a 4 out of 5. I considered bumping it even higher than that, just because I think it's fun,
Yeah.
and it's one of those stories where like it expands so much in the second half beyond what I was imagining it would be. You know, I thought they would get to the treasure, and it's like, oh, the treasure is like
The
a
friends
couple
you
old
made
pieces
along the
of
way.
paper. Yeah, the treasure's the friends you made along the way, but no, there's an actual treasure. It was really a pleasant surprise going in expecting that this would be just a nothing movie, and then no, it's actually there's more going on here. The story's more interesting.
Yeah. I give it a 3.5, which is still good, but I think if that we had a better sense of danger or just stakes. I mean, losing a town is a big stakes, but it's not as. You needed someone who wanted to buy the town to
Okay.
add the stakes, like in the Goonies. The town
Yeah.
was going to be sold to the bank, so they found the treasure to do it. Here, it's just let's find the treasure for fun. And then Barbie's like, "I'll do it because I don't know."
Because she's nostalgic for the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Barbie, she's the first character up to be discussed. This is just like a small thing, but I love the bit that she's just had all of these different jobs
Yeah.
in the town. They're driving into town and Barbie's explaining everything. Oh, Barbie, why can you explain everything? Well, I was a tour guide. Oh, there's the ice cream shop I worked at for a bit. Oh, there's the such and such a place I worked. Oh, there's the town hall. That's where I was the mini mayor for a couple months. And then at one point there's a picture of her as a rodeo clown, like,
yeah, you know how Barbie has every career under the sun.
yeah. I thought it was such a like smart little nod to that.
Yeah.
And kind of like silly as well.
Yeah.
And then she also spends a lot of the first half of this movie completely apart from her sisters.
Yeah.
which I find interesting in sort of the arc she's going on, where she, more than any of her sisters, wants to see the town as she remembers it. Um, but obviously that town is no longer there because everyone's moved away and all of the businesses have closed. So her motivation for finding the treasure, they spend time developing that motivation and explaining why that's so important to her.
Yeah, no, the Barbie character had, I think, a lot more personal stuff going on in this film than we had in a while.
Yeah. And even then in the other Barbie and her sisters movies, I we'll get into it. I felt like there was a better balance of the sisters here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, next up we have Skipper, who, as always, is obsessed with technology.
Yeah, apparently she got some contacts now because she doesn't have glasses.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, her tech comes in handy a couple of times. It feels like the movie is kind of trying to have it both ways, where it's like, oh, she's super smart and good with technology, but also, oh, technology is bad. Don't
Yeah,
spend too much time on your iPad.
it
Um,
could get stolen.
yeah, that's the big threat in this. Is like, oh no, she lost her iPad, so now she has like nothing, which is like a fair thing, but yeah, I don't know. She does have this tiny arc about learning not to be too reliant on her tech. Um, but it isn't really much of an arc. It's more of like,
It's the same arc that she has in every film.
yep, except for the last one. The I guess,
Now she had the same arc.
did she though? Because I thought that one she was like live streaming the event at the end.
Right, but she was also like she's surrounded by these mountains, but then she looks at a picture of the
Oh
mountains,
yeah.
is like, "Oh, cool, that looks great," while not actually appreciating the world around her.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite the same, but the idea is she's so reliant on technology that by
Yeah.
the end, she's not.
Yeah. Speaking of people who don't really have much of an arc, we have Stacy.
Stacy.
Um, she's the sporty one,
Uh huh.
which she gets a bit more to do here than she has in the previous movies. She gets a cool bike chase scene, but
Well, Stacy had a relationship with a horse in the last film.
that's true. Yeah, she had an arc in the last movie. It just, I guess Skipper was kind of the one that was sidelined in that one.
Yeah. Someone has to get sidelined for one of these.
Yeah, the thing here though is it doesn't feel in the moment like Stacy is being sidelined.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though she doesn't have an arc, she still feels like part of the adventure.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last movie, Skipper kind of just disappeared for a solid 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, here the sisters are all together all the
Yeah.
time, pretty much.
Yeah, and then we have Chelsea, who she's the one who's always feeling left out of things. The sort of classic little sibling thing of like, oh, your older siblings are able to do things that you aren't, and so you are kind of jealous of that. Here it's specifically the being able to remember the town that she's feeling
Mm-hmm.
left out of. But that doesn't really ever play into anything.
No.
She just kind of like gets over it. And there is this like nice idea at the end of the movie of like, oh, she's made her own memories.
Right, yeah.
But it's not really an arc so much as it is a conflict that gets resolved without actually being resolved. Just kind of resolves itself. But yeah, as I was saying before, this is the first of these Barbie and her sisters movies that feels like it actually balances the sisters well.
Yeah.
Like none of them have like fully fleshed out arcs, but none of them feel completely sidelined either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is kind of like the downside of having four protagonists is like you don't really get a chance to give each of them a full storyline if you only have an hour and 10 minutes. But
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
and I think part of it is also they were just in a better story this time around. But yeah, next up we have, oh boy, the puppies.
Hey, the puppies. Yeah.
The puppies. I'm sensing you had a different reaction to the puppies than I did.
Well, I probably had the same reaction at first, but then I was like, I've seen enough of this, enough of these type of things where I don't really care anymore.
So you are just numb and apathetic. I am less numb and less apathetic. I think for me, whenever they are on screen, the movie is immediately worse.
Maybe by 10%, but not by a whole
And
lot.
it starts at the beginning of the movie where it's like the movie starts out and they're driving in this van through the town and Barbie is explaining everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this movie's pretty good. I wonder why I thought it would be bad. The moment the puppies are just, I'm like, oh, yeah, the puppies. Oh, no.
So seeing the puppies was like, oh yeah, puppies. When they speak, that was where I was like, oh, I get it. It's like the Air Buddies. Well,
Yeah.
that's a choice. I don't know if I'll love it, but I guess I'll stick around for it.
And they speak, but the humans can't hear them.
Correct.
But they can understand the humans.
Yeah, a bit, yeah.
And so almost every line any of the puppies have is in direct response to a line that one of the humans has.
Mm-hmm.
But the human can't respond to it. So it just creates this disconnect in a lot of the dialogue scenes. And also they're these puppies are young and they act very young in ways that are I
Well,
don't know. I don't like these kinds of characters.
I'm fine with them.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to that when we talk about the acting.
Yeah. I just felt like even like their character traits mimic the sisters, which I think you could have done a bit more visually to distinguish them, though I guess the sisters aren't visually distinct. Um but you don't need them talking if they're gonna mimic the sisters.
They
The
don't
reason
really do
to
much in
yeah,
this film. They're like comedic relief in a film that already has a lot of comedic relief.
yeah.
They're also
It's
there to just to fill time as well. Uh, I
sell
guess to be
toys.
cute to some kids.
Yeah, toys. It's the toys.
It's the toys.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were a late stage edition, given how little they factor into the plot. Except for one,
I
who
mean, the
we can
film
talk
is
about.
called The Great Puppy Adventure.
Well, imagine Barbie and her sisters, The Great Adventure.
Hmm.
And then Mattel is like, could we add some puppies? And screenwriter's like, okay, we can add some puppies. This is speculation again. We do a lot of speculating about the behind the scenes stuff because there's not a ton of information available to us. But yeah, the one puppy who does have a purpose in the story is Taffy.
The one
Who's
distinguishable puppy from the rest.
yeah, she's the only puppy that has a distinct character and a distinct arc.
Besides the one that can't really count. With
Yeah,
numbers, at least.
which that's not really an arc or a character trait so much as it is like a thing. that the
Yeah,
puppy
no,
says.
the puppy just says motorcycle to respond to things. It's cute, but it's kind of out there.
I don't agree necessarily that it was cute, but anyway, Taffy has she starts the movie and it's like she's very anxious and she doesn't want to initially meet Barbie, and then once she's met Barbie, she kind of like sticks to her like Taffy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the name comes from. I don't know. I like Cutosaurus Rex, but or Salt and Papa. That's a good dog name.
That moment.
I
Barbie.
knew immediately when it happened. I'm like, okay, I know what the quote at the top of this week's episode is gonna be. And
Those
like
stupid
there were other
puns.
quotes throughout the movie that I considered, but that was the one that was like, okay, that is the one I need to do. But yeah, she Taffy has to like overcome her fear, and then her big moment is this scene in the cave where she's been locked out of the room, everyone else is trapped in the room, and she has to come up with a solution. And for a while she just like curls up on the ground and like can't do anything, but then she like sees this button here, but it's across this raging river, so she has to jump across these rocks. And that was the moment where I'm like, okay, now I kind of understand why you have one of the puppies in the movie. And I think that character arc made me like that character. Um because it is interesting, all of the puppies directly like relate to the sisters' personalities, except for Taffy initially.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this common thread in a lot of these Barbie movies where the Barbie character has to overcome fears of some variety. And so this parallel having Taffy, who, since she's not the Barbie character, she can actually be openly afraid. Um, so I thought that parallel, I don't know if it was entirely intentional, but I did like it. And that made me end up actually enjoying Taffy as a character. But yeah, the other puppies I was not endeared to at any point.
She's a puppy. She has the arc.
Yep, she has the big arc of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
which does kind of feel like an interesting way to do these Barbie and her sisters movies, to give the big arc to a different character entirely. But it works. And then yeah, the last sort of, well, I guess there is another minor good guy farther down, but we have Grandma Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
She has been in, not her specifically, but she has been in a lot of these Barbie movies. She's the,
This character type.
yeah, she's the older adult who's like, here, I'm here to teach you the lesson, but I'm nice.
And I'm gonna be missing for most of the film.
Yes.
Just doing my own stuff. What do? I don't know. I just do it.
Yep. In the first Barbie and her sisters movie, she was one of Santa Claus's relatives. So that was what she was doing. And then in the last movie, she was the headmistress of a riding school. This one, she's just a grandmother, so I guess she's busy baking cookies.
And being nostalgic about the past, yeah.
Yeah, looking at old photographs of Morocco.
Or Rocco.
Isn't that where she went?
I don't know.
There were a bunch of postcards in the attic that had something to do with something.
Mm-hmm.
That was because the puppies are very prevalent in that scene, so I was not enjoying the movie at that point.
You gotta get over those puppies, man.
I don't. They're these are just character types I don't like at all ever.
You gotta just watch more of these dumb stuff. Just become numb to it. Be around kids. Work with kids.
Yeah, me working with kids would not end well.
Be a camp counselor.
No.
It
You
will
know me,
change your
John.
life.
You know me, John. Me and kids do not get along.
I don't know.
I
I've
can.
never seen you with a kid.
We did Awana together
Oh,
for a
we did do
year.
that. Yeah, you were fine.
I was fine, but that was because it was 1 hour.
It was 1 hour, and most of the time we just watched movies.
Yeah. That was great.
It was great. Yeah,
We should have watched Barbie and her sisters in The Great Puppy Adventure.
we were too busy watching VeggieTales and the sinking of the Titanic. It was.
Yes, that was the day we showed the kids the sinking of the Titanic. That was
No,
enjoyable.
I still remember the responses. The Titanic is real? I thought it was just a legend.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of kids in general. So
I mean, neither am I, but they're fun to work with.
okay.
Yeah, I love
Anyway,
their
I had
acting
to.
too. When I was here for their summer camps here, that was something. You get
Yeah.
that one good talent in the midst of okay to something.
Speaking of okay to something, we have Joe and Marty.
Yeah, Joe and Marty.
They're the classic like bumbling duo that
That
is
wants
always
to
like
get the
the
treasure. Yep.
but they're like the henchmen to a villain, but this time there's no like mastermind to balance them out.
Joe is the mastermind, kind of.
Kind of. But that's always the dynamic. There's always the like slightly smarter one and the slightly less smart one. And then
Yeah.
there's like the big bad who's like the one who's actually in charge. But here no, there's no evil mastermind. It's just the two of them. And yeah, they serve their purpose. I kind of think you could have this movie work without them and it just be the treasure hunt.
It probably wouldn't be as interesting as a film.
Okay.
Or exciting, I should say.
Yeah.
Because
I think
they give you like a bike chase.
yeah.
They give you like a rush to the treasure.
Yeah, the bike chase is a good point. I think a lot of the other stuff though is like the musical score actually makes it more exciting.
Sure.
But yeah, that's they are not the worst part of the movie for me.
Well, they are for me actually.
Okay. You
I
like
prefer
them
the puppies.
more less than the puppies. I like them more than the puppies.
See, what would make the puppies worse if they actually were like a Bible character who a lot of the times they had antics that would get in the way.
Yeah, to me they're similar to the Bill character in that they just sound annoying and act annoying, and I was not a fan.
You just don't like kids, man.
No, this is why I'm telling you I should not work with kids. I do not like children. Do not make me work with them. I would make a terrible camp counselor.
We gotta make it happen. Just for that.
Oh boy.
You'll come back miserable.
Exactly.
And then you'll just start watching kids shows.
I already watched Barbie movies, John. I don't need to be a camp counselor to watch kids shows.
You'll relate to the kids on a whole nother level. It's like, I watched all the Barbie movies. Let me give you my review, in-depth review of each of those films.
Hello, 4-year-old. Let's talk about how in Barbie and her sisters, The Great Puppy Adventure, how it portrays the decline of small town America, and what are the assumptions it makes about that.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever
what
seen Megan?
Does it?
So anyway, the mayor is part of this film as well.
Yeah, usually wouldn't talk about a character this small, but I wanted to bring him up because he is the most mayoral mayor to ever be mayor.
Except for the mayor from the Powerpuff Girls, but yeah.
Yeah. He is like just what is his top character trait? Mayor. What is his secondary character trait? Mayor.
He's also a nice mayor.
Yeah. That's true. That's first character trait, mayor. Second character trait, nice mayor. He's just
There
like,
you go.
he serves no purpose other than to be the most mayoral mayor to ever be mayor.
Mm-hmm. That's his candidacy. I will be the most mayor.
I promise to be mayor. If you elect
Yes.
me, I will be mayor.
Yeah. So we both gave the character section a 3.5.
Yeah. This is, I strongly considered going lower because of the puppies, but I will admit they fade into the background in the second half. And that's when sort of the other characters get a bit more chance. And Taffy's arc is neat and works.
Mm-hmm.
So next up we have the animation. First
Animation.
off, the lighting
Mm-hmm.
is phenomenal.
It is.
Which we talked about this in Ponytail as well. So I think this might be partially the studio is just really good at lighting.
Yeah, I also said in the last Barbie film that you can have the most basic and bland character models, but if you have good character movement and good lighting, you're all set. Here you got the lighting to save some of those models.
Yeah, the character models don't look terrible, but they do look a lot more doll-like.
Yeah. I saw that. No, I wrote that down. They look more like dolls. Even their movement is more dollish.
Yeah.
Barbie doesn't quite look like a Barbie to me, but she's fine.
I mean, she probably looks more like a Barbie doll than ever before, but yeah, she doesn't quite look like a Barbie movie Barbie.
Or just Barbie in general. She looks more like a doll, but not
Yeah.
quite Barbie.
Okay. Not knockoff off-brand
No,
Barbie.
I think that her friend looks more like a Barbie than she does.
Okay. Her friend that she's in love with.
I guess, yeah.
The phone conversation they have. I was like, wait a second, she's talking to her friend? Okay, yeah, she's definitely in love with her friend.
Mm.
Anyway, also like the details here, like hair and grass and tree leaves,
Mm-hmm.
were all like you can tell they're able to put in more focus there. The hair is not one giant glob anymore.
Yeah, very nice.
There's a scene early on where Grandma Roberts puts her arm around Barbie's shoulder, and the way the hair interacts, I was like, oh, that's something they probably couldn't have done.
Whoa, hold on.
In earlier Barbie movies.
Hold on, no. What? So, going back to the film, we're still on the film, but going back to the film, there's a moment in the beginning where the mayor is walking up the steps, but he trips on a loose piece of step that he has to put back in place.
Yeah.
That never came back for anything. That was just there.
It's the sign of the town in disrepair.
I guess, but I was expecting that piece to be something very important to the plot.
I would just accepted it as like the infrastructure is crumbling because they don't have the money to repair it. So I took it on face value, which is apparently, but no, you were definitely thinking of like the treasure hunt even at that point.
Even just like storytelling, like usually a bit like that has more of a purpose than just being a bit. So I guess it's the whatever the word you just said.
In infrastructure, yeah.
Yeah, infrastructure. Instead of just saying, "Oh, there's something hidden underneath it," it'd be dumb. But that's where I went.
Yeah, that's fair. I just again took it at face value because I was at that point interested in like, okay, how is this movie depicting this sort of decline of small town America? But yeah, speaking of the town looks incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know that it quite looks like a Wisconsin town, but sure, why not? I've never been to Wisconsin, so I can't really say with any definitiveness.
But things look great in this film.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Most
Like
things.
Grandma Roberts' house also looks pretty great. And then the entire cavern system is just
Oh, the
so
cavern.
perfect.
Oh, the cavern. Yeah.
You got a like rickety bridge over an infinite pit. You've got the rapid river. The water looks pretty good in this movie.
It does, yes.
You've got like so much stuff. You got the like symbols in the stones, and you got the weird dog statues. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as we were alluded to before, the character models are a bit hit or miss.
Yeah, the movement is also a lot more cartoonish
Yeah,
in this one than previous versions, which makes sense. It's a
yeah.
cartoon, but not in a bad way, just
No,
more
yeah.
lively.
I did notice everyone's teeth looked a
Oh,
bit odd.
yes, the teeth. Oh, especially the grandma's teeth.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm not
everybody
sure
needs
what
dental
of
work
it.
in this film.
I think it's like too large of gaps between the teeth. I don't
It's
know.
too detailed. Too
Yeah,
Nobody wants detailed teeth with lines in between.
it's the worst teeth since Bibble, and Bibble
It's
had some pretty bad teeth.
these are so bad teeth. Every time I see the teeth, I get distracted.
Yeah, I do think like at a distance it actually looks fine, probably because there's a little less detail put in them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as for like really bad character models, we have Joe and Marty.
They're fine.
They're I don't know, they just felt greasy, which I guess might have been
Their
what the movie was
character.
going for, but
Well, it's also because they can't afford a shower and to
yeah.
bathe. They eat
Yeah.
corn. They old corn dogs every day.
I would have appreciated like a little bit more pizzazz put into their outfits. And like I think especially like Joe's face was a bit of like I don't know how to say what I'm feeling when I see his face. Besides just like please no something else. It feels like they like got most of the way through rendering it and then said, "Okay, that's enough."
I don't feel that way, but I don't love them either.
Now, as for the puppies, after watching 31 of these Barbie movies, I think I've forgotten what real puppies look like.
But these are better looking puppies than we had in most of these
They're
films.
better than Diamond Castle, I think, but again, I don't remember what
No,
real puppies look like.
no, Diamond Castle was worse than this. These are the
No,
best
no,
looking.
I said these are better than Diamond Castle.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what real puppies look like anymore, so I'm not a good judge of this.
Jack was a fun dog. I liked his design.
Yeah.
Until we got up close where we saw that he was a much smoother looking dog than he should be.
Yeah.
He lost some of the texture on his face when we got closer. But from a
I
distance, he looked really detailed.
was waiting for him to get involved in the plot. If he had, I would have mentioned him in my character section. He was like him
He
just
pushed
like
a button.
yeah.
He was very involved. He pushed a button. He
I was
ignored the children.
yeah, I was hoping he would come back in the end as like
He
for
would come in
something.
to rescue them. Like
Yeah,
he
I
already
don't
knows where
know.
the treasure
Like
is because he goes down there to nap all the time.
yeah. Like I don't see having seen the full arc of the movie, I don't see where you can put him in the end. But watching the movie like from the beginning where they're like, "Oh, this is the old dog. He knows the whole town." I was expecting there to be more to him than just he's the old dog. He takes a nap. Which I mean that is my aspirations in life are to take a nap.
be old.
Yeah. I don't know. He just disappeared from the movie.
He did. It would have been nice if he showed up at the end after hearing the
Yeah.
cries of Taffy.
Yeah. So something to. But yeah, overall, I gave the animation a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I
There's a
give it a
few,
3.8.
yeah, a few little things, but like the lighting especially is, and that whole the cave is just so great.
What kept it from getting a 4 is one, the teeth, and two, uh, I don't feel like Barbie looks quite like a Barbie to me.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair criticism.
All right, voice acting with some sad news.
Yes, this is Kelly Sheridan's final performance as Barbie.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's been a while. She's
yeah.
been great for a while as Barbie.
We don't know. We don't really have specific reasons about why
Yeah,
this time she's leaving. Although we do know that they're shifting styles again.
yeah.
So
And I mean, part of it might just be she kind of like I don't know. It sounds like this one was more passive than the last time, where last time it was Mattel was making this definitive decision of we're changing the brand, and then there was this sort of fan outcry that got Kelly back. Here there wasn't as much of a fan outcry, or really any that I saw,
right.
and she hasn't addressed it, I don't think. I,
Also, like around this time, the very next year, she would become a series regular for Ponies. So
okay. Yeah, I did see. Apparently, she was under the impression that she would be in Spy Squad, but then wasn't. But I think the fact that she didn't make a post on social media about it or anything, like, I think it seems to me like she was kind of like, okay, she could move on from this role.
yeah, I mean, she's been doing it for so long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I can see definitely not wanting to be typecast as Barbie for the rest of your career.
Mm-hmm.
This very specific character. So yeah, we'll have to see who, how,
It's Erica Labrick, I believe.
yeah, and she's Barbie for a few movies, and there's a couple other people who
Mm-hmm.
sort of rotate in and out. So yeah, we're sad to see her go.
Yeah, but no, she had a lot more energy in this film than we've had in a while. It seemed.
Yeah, she goes out on a high note here, which
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting from Barbie and her sisters in The Great Puppy Adventure. As
Yeah,
I've been saying,
especially since Barbie's more of like a side character in this one.
yeah, she does. I think when she gets into the plot, that's when the movie really kicks into high gear.
Literally, because she brought the gear.
Yes. Oh, something I forgot to mention for animation. Stacy did an Akira slide on her bike from the anime Akira. There's an
Yeah,
iconic bike
that
slide
was
that,
probably intentional. Yeah.
yeah, it shows up every once in a while, and especially in animation.
Mm-hmm.
And so see that I even like rewound the movie to be like, was that the Akira slide? Because it's very quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewound it and I'm like, oh, that's the Akira slide. I was so excited.
I've yet to see Akira.
It's good. It's heavy. It's a bit heavier than Barbie and her sisters in The Great Puppy
Of
Adventure.
course, it's an anime movie.
Ghibli, there are Ghibli movies that are as light as this one, though
Right,
more
but anime
better.
in general, Jay, we know what that's like. But anyway, we're talking about Barbie today.
Yes. Barbie and Akira.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie and her sisters in the great body horror in the center of the Tokyo Olympic Stadium.
Yeah. But yeah, once again, Kelly Sheridan did a good job for her last film.
Yeah. And it goes on to do great work elsewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, we also have I wanted to shout out Kazumi Evans, who plays Skipper, and I
Hmm.
thought she did a pretty great job.
Yeah, much more noticeable in this film as well.
Yeah. We also have Michael Dangerfield, who I wanted to mention partially just for his name. But he's an actor who worked on Smallville and Max Steel and My Little Pony.
Yeah.
This is his fourth Barbie movie. His first one was Barbie Diaries, and then he took like a long break, and then was in the last few Barbie movies in like small roles. Um, but I did want to shout out he plays Joe. There wasn't really anything in his performance that stood out to me super much, but I thought I would give him a shout out. And then we also have returning actor Sam Vincent, who played the very Canadian Bat in Mariposa 2. He's now playing the somewhat southern carnival worker.
Mm-hmm. Somewhat.
Yeah. This would be a character he could have brought his Canadian accent back for.
You could. But much of this film is populated with kid voices, which I know you love. No,
Okay,
I think, yeah.
here's my thing with kid voices. I'm not the fan. I'm not the biggest fan. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I'm going to leave my comments at that because I feel like it's a bit mean to criticize kid performances too much.
They're kids. They don't know
Yeah.
any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've heard much more wooden performances before. So this is better for me, specifically for kids. So
Yeah.
I think they did fine.
Yeah. Again, I don't really have any comments to make other than it didn't work for me, and that's not the kids' fault because they
You
could
just
only
don't
do
like
so
them in
much.
general.
Yeah, I don't like kid voices, especially like the cutesy kids' voices, which the puppies very much lean into.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I gave the voice acting a 3.5 out of 5. I initially had it lower, but I did feel kind of bad for like again, they're
No.
kids. I can't be too critical.
I am glad that you brought it back up. I was kind of sad that it was at a 3. It's like, oh no, he doesn't like the kids. Anyway, I also gave it a 3.5. It was good, but most of the film is just the kids' voices. There's nothing amazing to say about that. They
Mhm.
just did fine. So that's where we're at.
So yeah, last up we have
Oh yeah,
the music.
music. Yes.
Yeah. So music is, I think, a very underappreciated part of making something feel exciting or sad or any of the feelings you're feeling in a movie. A lot of that is because of the music.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher Willis, who scores this movie, absolutely delivered in all those regards.
Mm-hmm.
The score is clearly inspired by John Williams, and you wrote The Goonies as well.
Yeah.
Um, but it works. It's an inspiration that is on a similar level to the original.
It fits this aesthetic of films.
Yeah, and then it just like even in the early scenes, there were moments where I was like paying attention to the score. There was even a specific moment where I was like, "Oh, this is really good. I should like specifically think about the score as I'm watching this."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one piece of score that stood out to me was during the Fireflies at night.
Yes,
Oh, it just sounded so peaceful,
yeah,
and like they just let the moment just be the music
yeah,
as they took a night to breathe.
yeah. And then once they get into that cavern, the score just really kicks into high gear, and it's like top exciting adventure. It's like it sells everything that happens. And
Mhm.
I know you were maybe not feeling the danger as much, but for me, that was like selling the tension of these things. It wasn't, the animation is really solid, but and the editing and the camera work, that's all really solid, but it was really the score that tied everything together.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was super impressed. The original songs are a bit forgettable.
Yeah.
They have the town anthem that plays a role. That's a clue. Um, but
That's
it
a
isn't
weird
really much
anthem.
beyond that. Yeah. And then the end credit song didn't really stick with me, but that score is just so good.
Yeah, no, it's been a while since we've had a really nice score.
Yeah.
So it was great. And it was great that it was also just inspired by something clearly, not something generic,
Yeah.
to really make it stand out more.
Yeah, you can feel the sort of artistry of it and that it's not just like cuz
Temp music.
yeah. Yeah, it really worked so well, and I'm kind of disappointed that he hasn't scored any of the other Barbie movies, but
Well, I mean,
he's moved on
his
to
talent
greater
is more
things.
than just Barbie. It
Yeah,
seems.
but yeah, I gave it. I mean, the music just brought everything together for me, so I give it a 5 out of 5. It's I know there aren't like big musical numbers or anything, but it's just that third act works so well in large part because of the music.
Hmm. Yeah, I gave the music a 4 out of 5. It was great, but there was also moments where it was just okay. When it wasn't really inspired by John Williams, and it felt more like it was really when the puppies were doing their thing. It switched to just generic
Yeah.
happy music instead of inspired by the adventure genre.
This is what I've been saying. Anytime the puppies aren't on screen, this is a much better movie.
Hmm.
Except for Taffy. Taffy can stay. Yeah. So my final score here is a 20 out of 25, which is an 80% on, an 80% or a 4 on our 5-star scale.
Mine is an 18.3, which is a 73%, and a 3.6 5-star rating.
Now, usually this is where we would talk about where this stacks up in our rankings, but starting this week and going through the rest of our episodes, we are going to be keeping that a little bit secret because we are going to be doing, once we have watched all of these Barbie movies, a big ranking episode where we'll give both sort of the numeric rankings and then also our more personal rankings based on which ones we would be most likely to rewatch and which ones we remember most fondly.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look forward to that if you're wondering where this falls in our rankings. You will find out soon enough on that episode. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram, at Binging Barbie on Twitter, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And we will be back next week to talk about Barbie's first sort of secret agent movie. I don't know much about this one. Barbie Spy Squad.
Ooh.
Yeah. Is this going to be the James Bond to this movie's
According to Earth to
Goonies /
Caitlin,
Indiana
no.
Jones? Okay. Have you seen The Earth to Caitlin?
No, but I read the title.
Okay. I'm curious to see this one. I intentionally avoided the trailer for this one. It was on the DVD that I have for Great Puppy Adventure, and I skipped it. So I'm like, I want to go into this one relatively blind and see if it's any good or if it's. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.